Lavender in the air, and a lie with it. Whitehaven Mansions, early post. The bell rings, once. I open the door. A small parcel waits on the mat. Plain wrap, neat string, no return address. Poirot joins me. He says nothing. Checks the knots, touches the paper, sniffs the fold. Lavender, he says. Faint. He weighs the parcel. Too light for books. We move to the table. I reach for the string. He stops me. Observe first. A gray smear marks the corner. Violet ash. Thin dust. Lilac ink seeps under the label. Dry strokes. Brittle feel. He uses tweezers. Lifts the label. Under it, a slip. 3 words. Slanted. From an old friend. Left slant. Heavy drag. Left-handed, he says. He turns the parcel. Seam rough. Glue sweet. Another smell rises. Machine oil. Metallic. Phonograph work, he says. Or dictation gear. I fetch the opener. He makes me wait. Listen, he says. He presses paper to his ear. A soft crinkle answers. Wax sleeve, he says. Inside. He slices the seam. A smaller envelope slides out. Violet edge. Lilac seal. Dry. Slightly gritty. He cracks the seal. A note appears. Countess Adele's crest. Her name beneath. I read aloud. Mr. Poirot, I need help. It is urgent. My voice must not be sold. My friend Delarose is exposed. A wax cylinder is missing. He does not know I write. Please come at once. No address. Poirot turns the page, rubs the margin. Violet ash falls. He holds it to the light. Burned blossoms, he says, or scented paper. He compares letters. Small angles, firm pressure. He neither smiles nor frowns. He points at the seal shards. Smell, he says. Lavender again. Not fresh. He traces an imprint on the wrap. A circle in a square. Case stamp, he says. Transport box. Is this a trap, I ask? Always ask that, he says. He taps the crest. Genuine. He taps the hand. Not hers. He folds the note, files it away, lifts the phone. The line hums, asks for the Countess. A maid answers. Poirot waits. A door closes, far away. A new voice comes on, low, flat, controlled. Speak, she says. He gives his name. We received your note. Do not meet there, she says. Too many ears. Then where, he asks. St. Stephen's Close. Side entrance. 9:30. 2 clicks. Silence. Poirot replaces the handset, stares at the parcel, writes a line. Lavender, oil, left hand. Underlines left, underlines oil, writes one more line. Check cylinders in city. Caps his pen, looks at me. Coats, he says, and the small case. Danger? I ask. Assume it, he says. We lock the drawer, seal the parcel. Time noted. 8:20. He circles Saint. Stephen's Close on a small map. Tweezers wiped with alcohol. Air sharp. Eyes water. Nose stings. Fingers tingle. We step out. Footsteps in the stairwell pause. Then fade. Poirot nods, once. We go down now. She's back. A voice that could break a nation. We lay the parcel aside. Poirot opens his notebook. New page. Clean lines. He writes one sentence. The cylinder holds a treaty phrase. He taps the period. One line, he says. One line can wreck careers. We call Delarose. He answers on the second ring. His breath sounds rough. Tired voice. Flat edges. Come at once, he says. Bring discretion. The line crackles. We go. His rooms are dim. No pleasantries. He locks the door. Brass clicks twice. He pours tea from a cooling pot. Bitter smell rises. He does not sip. He stares at the window, eyes spent. Poirot sits, sets the parcel aside. Tell us, he says. Delarose nods. A dictation cylinder is missing. Which one? The treaty rehearsal. The sentence about naval access. He rubs his brow. An unwise joke remains on it. Laughter on the track. Names implied. Poirot writes quickly. Metallic rasp from the nib. He underlines 3 words: treaty, access, laughter. He asks for the case number. N124B. The clerk's name, Gervais, the last listener. Translator from Milan. He swallows hard. Male. Accent light. Cufflinks with blue glass. Poirot asks about the lock. Delarose brings the box. Brass lock. Cold. Fresh scratch marks around the hasp. Poirot holds the metal. Feels the burr. Smells the rim. Oil and perfume. He opens a cloth roll. 3 small gauges. A loop. A brush. He dusts the lip. Gray flecks cling. He lifts a thread with tape. Lilac tint. Faint. He pockets the sample. "Why not report?" Poirot asks. Delarose stiffens. "I will report. After recovery. If this leaks," he says, "Parliament roars. My rivals feast. My post ends." His hands shake. China rings on the tray. He steadies the cup. The house phone trills once. Claire has the switchboard. Her voice cuts in. "Hold a moment." We hear another line. Soft click. Hard pause. Then a faint series. Tick, tick, tick. Poirot raises a finger. "Count, please." She counts aloud. 14, 3, 11. She breathes shallow. Pattern repeats. Poirot writes the sequence. Draws a tiny grid, marks 3 squares. He speaks to Claire. "Trace origin." "Map the branch." She confirms. "South Annex, booth 2. Line patched to the hotel." Static scratches the ear. Claire returns. "Connection still live?" Poirot leans close. The ticks stop. He closes his notebook. Looks at Delarose. "No staff leave," he says. "No calls out," he adds. "Not until tonight." Delarose nods. Wipes his mouth. Hates the taste. I taste it too. Bitter. Dry. Cold. Poirot points at the lock again. "Brass remembers," he says. "Fresh marks fade by morning." He signals me to stand. Lifts the parcel. We step to the door. He listens at the seam. Nothing. He sniffs the hinge. Oil again. Claire says, "Source fixed." Timer set for 11:45. Poirot writes the time. Underlines it twice. Auction. Tonight. A lavender dress. New name. Old mistake. We enter the lobby. 9 sharp. Claire nods from the desk. A guest book lies open. Fresh ink pools on one line. The name reads Helena Valois. Different surname. Same flourish on the V. Poirot notes the tilt. Leftward. He taps the dot on the I. Low, late. "Left hand," he murmurs. She appears on cue. Lavender dress, simple cut. Clean seams. Gloves, pearl white. Bag, narrow. Perfume strong. Nose stings. Steps even. Chin high. No glance at staff. Too trained. She gives her passport. Claire checks the page. Seal looks right. Paper feels wrong. Edge, too smooth. Date glyphs, slightly off. "Accept," Poirot whispers. We watch. Bellini pauses at the piano. 3 bars drift. He falters once, twice, thrice. Not nerves, signal. A waiter offers champagne. She takes one. Left hand again. She grips the bowl. Heat fogs the glass. Habit, not error. Poirot writes a mark. She signs a slip. Loops heavy on the left. Crossbar drags. Pen angle betrays her. I move to the bar. Request plain soda. Watch the mirror. Her eyes scan exits. Bag stays under her arm. She hates the coat stand. No offloading. No trust. A bell chimes the lift. 2 men step out. One with blue glass cufflinks. He looks once at her gloves. Passes without greeting. She doesn't react. But her shoulder tightens. Poirot sees it. Writes another mark. Claire clears her throat. Asks for a second signature. Hotel policy. Helena smiles, thinly. Swaps the pen to the left. No hesitation. No flourish change. Same pressure. Same drag. Bellini restarts the waltz. Plants the motif again. 3 notes wrong. Same interval. Same bar. I count beats. Poirot counts doors. Porter watches the staircase. No one moves. She lifts the glass. Sips small. Wrist stays rigid. Gaze avoids the piano. She fears the cue, or expects it. Poirot checks the guest book, flips 3 pages back, shows me a practice hand, same tilt, same loop, different name. He whispers, "Rehearsed." Claire asks about luggage. Later, Helena says, "Courier." Her accent slides. Vienna in one word, Zurich in the next. Stage, not birth. Poirot asks for a card. She gives a blank. No raised print, only an address line, empty. He writes the time on it. She watches the stroke. A bell rings the hour. Conversations stop. Door opens to the terrace. Cold air slips in. Helena's left glove tightens. She turns slightly. Blue cufflinks reappear. He stops near a pillar, adjusts nothing, waits. Poirot closes his notebook, breathes once, says, "Now we begin." Claire hands over the key. Room number written twice. Second hand lands left. Helena pockets it without looking. Cufflink man drops a matchbook. An orchid stamped inside. Lavender dust on the fold. Poirot nods. Trap confirmed. Silently. Noted. This isn't her first stage. 3 wrong notes, 1 true signal. Bellini sits at the piano. Repeats the motif. Same length, same bar, same stumble. Poirot taps time on the chair. Index, middle, ring. 4 taps, 3 taps, 11 taps. I hold a pad. Mark the sets. 4-3-11. He whispers, "Again." Bellini restarts. Lifts his left hand late. Crushes a grace note. 3 errors repeat. Same places. Claire phones from the desk. Keeps the line quiet. We hear tiny clicks. Short, short, long, then a cluster. She counts. 14. 3. 11. Poirot points his pencil. Confirm origin. Clicks resume. She breathes through her nose. Murmurs. Booth 2. Static snaps. Line steadies. Smell bow resin. Smell dusty velvet. Bellini wipes his wrist. Cuff shows a faint smear. Gray on white. Poirot listens to the pedals. Software. Hard. Pattern aligns, he says. Writes it down. I read back. 14, 3, 11. Note the order, he says. I do. Claire returns. The trunk line repeats it, she says. Same digits. Same gaps. She adds. Secondary patch active. Poirot circles 2 numbers. Taps the page. Doesn't look at the clock. Speaks to Bellini without moving. Hold bar 17. Bellini holds it. Chord shakes. Breath shallow. Drops it back in time. Motif returns. I check Helena. Watches the lift. Bag under her arm. No blink at the bad notes. Left glove tight. Poirot closes the notebook. Sets his palm on the chair. Counts the grain ridges with his thumb. Stops at 14. Smiles, without teeth. Chose, map, he says. I bring the city plan. He draws a grid. 14 across, 3 down, box 11 marked. Writes 1 word. Depot. Claire whispers, origin traced. South annex feed. Meter cabinet. She pauses. Patch fixed at booth 2. Poirot pockets the pencil. Stands. Speaks to Claire. Mark the booth unused. Maintenance tag. Keep the line live. She says, done. He turns back to Bellini. Again. Bellini plays the motif. 3 wrong notes. I mark the time. Poirot leans to me. Sequence repeats by design, he says. Not a mistake. Not nerves. I point at my pad. 14, 3, 11. Numbers first, he says. Meaning second. He writes a final line. Taps it once. Tests the obvious. Time? I write 14:31. He crosses it out. Not with this schedule. Not with this crowd. Room. Claire checks the register. No room fits that string. No floor holds that number. Ledger? I open the depot list. Columns, 14 across, rows, 3 down. Locker 11 at the join. He taps the page. Consistent. Folds the map. Looks at Helena. She studies nothing. Waits for a cue that already played. He points at the chair again. 4 taps, 3 taps, 11 taps. Motif lands exact. 14311 is a place, not a time. Charing Cross Deposit, late afternoon. Crowd's thin. Claire tags the booth, maintenance. Poirot carries the map. I hold the key receipt. Row 14, column 3, locker 11, numbers first, feel later. The attendant looks bored. Poirot shows a card. We get a nod. We reach the lockers. Metal, cool on the hand. Oiled smell sits low. Sticks in the nose. Locker 14-3-11 waits. Slot shows green. Poirot studies the faceplate. Fresh scratches around the keyway. Short arcs. Narrow span. Small picks, he says. Not clumsy. He hands me the ticket. Paper dry. Edge rough. I check the number twice. Matches. Gloves, he says. We pull them on. Latex tugs at the skin. Snap. Tight. He slides the key. Half turn. Stop. Backs it out. Listen. Tiny rebound. Springs settle. He turns again. Bolt retreats. Door opens. Short hiss of suction. Inside, a brown sleeve. Thin card. Lightweight. Oiled scent stronger. I lift the sleeve. Too light. Poirot shakes his head. Hold steady. Checks the interior lip. Brushes a corner. Gray flecks smear. Points at the hinge. New oil pooled in the rim. Tilts the sleeve to the light. Seam under the flap. Glue pale. Recent. A cylinder slides into my palm. Black wax. Narrow core. I feel ring marks. Shallow. Poirot touches with tweezers. Notes weight by feel. Short by grams, he says. Wrong stock. Listens with the cone. Rolls the surface. No groove shifts. Silence. Decoy, he says. Checks the sleeve again. Smells the edge. Lavender carrier. Powdered. Presses the seam with a black glove. Pale bloom prints on the leather. Fine dust clings. Lavender. Even spread. I hold the door steady. He scrapes the frame with tape. Faint lilac tint on the strip folds it into paper. Footsteps. We freeze. A cough. A turn. He's gone. Poirot resumes. Rubs the inside floor. Shallow scuff arcs left. Bag drag, he says. Lifted fast. Checks the bolt track. Fresh glint. Tests the spring. Tension high. Points to the ticket slot. Hair on the lip. Dark. Short. Traps it with tape. Pockets it flat. I scan the corridor. Camera winks red. Claire will pull it, he says. Wipes the sleeve with alcohol. New smell cuts the oil. Sharp. Clean. Waits 5 seconds. Seals the sleeve in a pouch. Touches the coin chute. Warm. Recent use, he says. Rubs the receipt ink. Still tacky. Minutes. Lifts the faceplate screws. Fibers cling to the threads. Glove rubbed, he says. Locks the door again. Leaves the key in place. Writes on a card. Empty within 5 minutes. Timer starts now. Do not linger. We step back. Look ordinary. Turn away. Leopold left his scent. You can feel a smile. Not the truth. Bellini aligns his sheet. Glances left. She arrives on time. Lavender dress. Gloves white. Bag narrow. Perfume strong. He smiles once. She answers smaller. Eyes do not warm. Hands do not reach. 2 soft notes. She stands close to the fallboard. They share a quiet laugh. No touch. I watch the bar mirror. Profile clean. Mouth lifts. Pupils stay flat. Laugh ends too neat. Poirot waits in a chair. Notebook closed. Pencil capped. Counts beats under the table. 4, 3, 11. Says nothing. Bellini modulates. Folds a grace note. She tilts her head. He repeats. 3 times. Her left hand adjusts the glove. Seam strains. She looks at the stairs. He keeps rhythm constant. Jaw loose. Right heel taps twice. I move 2 steps. Catch the bag flap in reflection. Magnet clasp. Tiny scratch. Fresh. Claire passes a tray. Hears the laugh again. Measures pitch. Same as the first. Face gives nothing. Soft heel scrape on marble. Far pillar. Short. Dry. Silence. Bellini holds the cord. She doesn't turn. He lets it go. Countess Adele enters. no ceremony, requests water. I bring it. Voice low. Vienna, she says. Then Zurich. Not native. Poirot leans closer. Cairo? Adele narrows eyes. She once said Helene instead of Helena. Corrected too fast. In Cairo, Continental Hotel Spring, 3 years ago. She stares at the glove seam. She was with a man who loved orchids, not a lover, a handler. Thin, narrow voice. Name not given. Poirot writes, Cairo slip, Helene. Orchid, man present. Bellini stops the waltz, speaks without moving lips. Breath changes pattern. She laughs, third time. Exact length, exact tone. I whisper, chemistry? He shakes his head. Meter, he says. Claire brings a message slip, sets it by the music rack. Bellini reads with his eyes. Nods once. Starts a new piece. Motif hides in bar 17. Helena adjusts her bag. Checks the lift number. Angles toward the stair door. Smile looks idle. Neck muscles tense. Poirot stands last. Watches her shoes. No scuff front. Heel tips new. She turns slightly left. He lifts his pencil. Doubt? I ask. Plenty, he says. Then softer. We wait. Bellini shifts the bench a thumb's width. She mirrors the move. Shoulders never align. One wrong note. She blinks on the beat. Far pillar clicks again. Same scrape. Poirot marks it twice. Not love. A watch post. Paper smell. Old files. New crime. We work at the table. Files stacked. Pens ready. Claire dials the registry. Poirot points at a name. Leopold. Ex-archivist. Dismissed quietly. Reason. Access abuse. I check the old ledger. Paper dry. Edges rough. Stamps crisp. Purple ink. Leopold signed 3 withdrawals. Dates cluster last spring. Subjects. Diplomatic audio. Poirot finds a margin note. Orchid hobby. He underlines it twice. Circles. A supplier line. City conservatory. Claire pulls receipts. Serials align with the dates. 1 slip, soil and bark. 1 slip, burner nozzle. 1 slip, lavender oil. We go to the counter. The clerk remembers a thin man. Narrow voice, careful cash. Right glove on. Left pocket used. He bought pots and charcoal. Asked about a humidity case. Poirot lays our tape sample. Lilac dust shows faint. The clerk nods at the oil shelf. Same label, he says. We smell it. Lavender. Flat. Not floral. Poirot opens a small envelope. Black glove print, flecked white. He dusts the edge with light. A pale bloom rises. Orchid pollen. He scrapes a second tape. Lilac specks cling. Mix, he says. Handled together. The conservatory owner finds a card. Left behind by the buyer, half torn, brown edge. Imprint, Nash. Claire checks phone orders. 3 calls from the hotel annex. Booth 2, South Feed. Times match Bellini's cues. 14, 3, 11. Poirot studies the numbers again, folds a city map, marks the opera house, marks the annex lines, draws a thin route. Hotel to opera, opera to depot, writes Nash room beside the stage plan. Bellini arrives on a break. Hands chalked, cuffs gray. He sets down a worn seat chart. Pins mark aisles and doors. He taps bar 17. Easy conceal, he says. Noise covers it. Poirot tests the decoy cylinder weight. Holds it in both hands, shakes his head. Wrong stock, he says. Real one moves when the motif plays. I ask, why the orchid dust? Grip, he says. Better hold on wax. Powder the glove. Lift, no slip. He writes 2 times. 11:45, 12:10. He points at the seat map. Taps the waltz bar. Lists rolls in order. Watcher, courier, archivist. Adds 1 more. Buyer unseen. Claire files the slips. Bellini wipes his hands. Poirot caps his pen. Opens his loop. Studies the pollen on card. Grains oval. 3 furrows. Not garden dust. Greenhouse stock. He notes the code on the oil label. Batch 71-L. Claire calls the supplier. Batch shipped last week. 6 bottles. 1 to the conservatory. 2 to the hotel florist. The owner adds 1 detail. Buyer asked for a transport box, foam pads, cloth tape, preferred black gloves. Kept the right on. Claire requests depot footage. Flags locker rows. Time window set. She books an opera contact. Access to the Nash Room annex. Service corridor runs behind it. Door opens on bar 17. Noise hides a latch click. Confirmed. The handover will happen during the music. Wrong cylinder. Right hand. Packed lobby. Sweat. Leather case swap. Poirot stands still. I watch the flow. 2 leather cases cross. Same brand. Same scuffs. Not the same hand. Helena lingers by the lift. Left glove tight. Bag tucked. She scans exits. She waits for a cue. A man in a hat slides past Bellini. Their cases touch. His thumb covers the latch. Scratch. Fresh. He mutters, sorry. I close in behind. The porter frowns. Sir, your folio. I show a voucher. Delivery. He nods once. Claire raises 2 fingers at the board. Patch live. Booth 2. Line steady. She mouths numbers. 2, 3, 11. Bellini ends the bar. He stands. Sleeve pin loose. Pearl cap bright. He pivots near the fallboard. The pin catches a hair. Fine. Pale. He keeps playing. Switch? I whisper. Poirot shakes his head. Not yet. Blue glass cufflinks glint at the pillar. The watcher checks his wrist. He wipes oil from a hinge. He looks at Helena. He looks away. The hat man eases to the door. Poirot walks across his path. Coins rub in his pocket. Metal on metal. The hat man glances. Poirot ignores him. I touch the handle seam. A dark thread clings. I press a tape. It holds. I pocket the strip. Bellini plays the motif. 3 errors in place, same bar, same weight. Claire notes the time. 11:36. The hat man asks the porter for a cab. He keeps the case to his shin. The porter whistles. No car arrives. Helena checks the lift again. Number stalls. She adjusts the seam. Left hand only. Habit shows. The watcher drifts left. He blocks my view. Poirot blocks his. We trade positions. No contact. The hat man moves again. I shadow him. He slows. He smiles. He shows a claim tag. Wrong series. I nod. Bellini lowers his right hand. He fixes the pedal. The sleeve pin slides free. The hair stays on metal. He locks the pin. Claire speaks softly on the line. Patch rooted. Target holds. She lifts a red card. Out of service. She hangs it on booth 2. The line still hums. Poirot smiles at last. Small. Quick. He writes 1 word. Ready. The hat man looks back. He sees me. He decides to go. He lifts the case higher. His thumb covers the scratch. I step to the desk. I sign a fake receipt. I speak to Claire. Confirm locker. She says 14. 3:11. I say timer. She says 4 minutes. Helena takes 1 step, then stops. She waits for the watcher. He taps his cuff once. She does nothing. Poirot nods. Hold exit, he says. I stand by the door. The hat man turns left. Dead corridor. He turns back. He hides nerves. He adjusts his tie. He tests a smile. It fails. Bellini drops 1 wrong note. The watcher startles. Helena blinks. The hat man flinches. Poirot lifts his pencil. He taps once. I move. We push them now. Hide it if you can. The stain will speak. We take the side corridor. No crowd. Poirot opens the kit. 2 bottles, 1 brush, 1 bulb. Label reads silver nitrate. He tests a drop on paper. A brown halo forms. He nods once. He points at the latch. Oil first, he says. I dab with alcohol. Metal squeaks dry. Smell sharp. Nose stings. He wets the brush. He paints the underside seam a thin line, even coat. He dots the hinge pin. He stripes the faceplate screws. He whispers, touch points. I ask about the effect. Light will fix it, he says. Skin will darken. Hours, not minutes. Enough for a mark. He blows once on the coat. He waits 10 seconds. He caps the bottle. He wipes the rim. He dusts a second layer, only on the bolt lip. He dabs the key ring. He leaves a thin film. He checks the smear angle, right to left. Left hand likely, he says. Glove today. Bear later I log the time. 11:40. He writes the locker code. 14, 3, 11. Claire calls in. Her voice is low. Patch steady. Watchers in place. Rumor ready. Say it, Poirot tells her. She repeats the line. The real cylinder moved. Depot to Opera. Confirm at Nash Room. She adds a beat. Window 11:45 to 12:10. Poirot looks at me. Seed takes, he says. Eyes will follow. Footsteps pass the corner. We freeze. A cart rolls by. No pause. He holds out the brush. Your turn, he says. I coat the ticket slot. I paint the top edge of the handle. Touch burns a little. Skin tingles. He nods. He cleans the tip. He signs the cap with tape. He marks the kit card. Batch number noted. He sets the faceplate back. Screws finger tight. He smears a ghost of oil. Normal, he says. Claire returns on the line. Rumor spread. Booth 2, quiet. Cufflink man moved. Hat man near exit. Helena still waiting. Poirot checks my hands. He points at a stain. Wash now. I use alcohol pads. Black lifts slow, stain stays faint. He says, good enough. He places a decoy wipe on the rail. Clear packet. Easy reach. He smiles thin. Bait, he says. He positions me at the corner. Eyes on the latch, he whispers. Count touches. I nod. Bellini's cue drifts down the hall. 3 wrong notes. Same bar. Poirot raises a finger. He mouths, ready? The corridor feels damp. Air heavy. Chemical bite hangs. We wait. He points left. Washroom there. Bright bulbs. Good for fixing. We funnel them. Claire will stall. Porter asks signature. Use the guest book. Pen prepped already. Trace on grip. Same compound. Light does the rest. We check hands. We log names. Then we follow. No rush. Witnesses stay calm. We control flow. Footsteps again. Faster now. The hat man first. He checks the ticket slot. He touches the lip. 1. Blue cufflinks next. He palms the handle. 2. A third man follows. Thin. Quiet. He presses the bolt. 3. Whoever has dark fingers is ours. Soft carpet. Hard questions. Opera night. Strings tremble. Tickets checked. Claire handles the passes. Names match. Ushers scan badges. Security notes our tags. Bellini hands us the seat map. Pinpricks mark aisles and doors. He shows bar 17 with a nail. Mark. He marks the queue twice. Poirot studies the pattern. 4 clusters, 2 exits, 1 choke point. He taps the Nash Room annex. Noise cover, he says. Good. I note the route. Lobby, corridor, annex door, service stair, no crowd there. Only ushers and a guard. Helena circles the balcony. Left glove smooth, right hand hidden. She passes the pillar twice. She never looks down. Blue glass cufflinks flicker near the west box. The watcher scans rows. He watches the stairhead. Delaros waits 3 rows back. Shoulders tight. Breath metallic. He presses a folded program. The edge marks his palm. Poirot sits 2 seats from him. Claire blocks the other side. Bellini moves to the pit rail. He keeps the pin out of view. I slide to the annex door. The key grates. I test the gap. 1 finger slides in. The stop holds. Poirot times the motif. 3 wrong notes at the same bar. He writes 17 and cover on his cuff. Claire whispers on the line. Patch steady. Booth 2, live, she adds. Porter ready. Guest book placed. I test the hinge. It bites a little. Oil thin. I rub a cloth once, no squeal, no shine. A shadow moves across the service stair window, steps light, then gone. I log the minute. Bellini raises his hand. Cue. He scratches the pedal plate. The hair sits under the pin. It has not moved. Helena walks the ring again. Her bag stays tucked. She tips her chin at the far door. The watcher notes it. Poirot leans to Delaros. No calls, he says. No signals. Delaros nods. He breathes slow. I check the seat map again. Pins at door B and D. Nash room entry sits between them. Good funnel. Claire passes me a tag. Maintenance. She pins it to my coat. Use if challenged, she says. Keep the door half-latched. I reset the stop. I count clicks on the lock tongue. 3 small ridges, then a clean seat. Bellini tests the bar softly. 3 errors land like taps. The nearby usher glances, then looks away. A stagehand pushes a cart past. He does not stop. I shield the latch with my elbow. He keeps moving. Poirot signals once with the program corner. Go. I open 1 inch. Air still. Corridor clear. He points at the washroom light. Fixing in there, he says. Claire nods. Bulbs bright, she says. Guest book ink set. Delaros shifts. He wipes his lip. Metal again. He keeps his eyes forward. He waits for a name. Helena pauses near the west door. She checks her watch. The watcher mirrors her. He touches his cuff. Bellini's cord swells. Cover builds. Feet shuffle. I set my hand on the knob. I count down. Poirot mouths the time. 11:44. He raises 1 finger. At 11:45, the door opens. 2 cylinders. 1 silent lie. Poirot sets the pouch down. He opens the kit. Tweezers. Cornell chalk. He shows me the forgery. Shell clean. Groove sparse. A whisper lives inside, he says. He taps the rim. I hear a rasp. The real one will weigh more. Different stock. He palms the decoy. He notes the drag. Light by grams, he says. Touch tells truth. He pockets the decoy. He marks its seam with chalk. Claire arrives with a slip. Booth 2 silent now. Patch idle, she says. Rumor still moving. Poirot nods. Good. Bellini adjusts the bench. Pin aligned. Hair trapped. He will cue at bar 17. 3 wrong notes. Same spots. Helena stands near door B. Left glove tight. Blue cufflinks wait at the west pillar. Watcher steady. Delaros keeps still. Program folded. Poirot places 2 cases on the table. 1 holds the decoy. 1 holds an empty sleeve. The real case sits with me. Out of sight. He sets the lure. He leaves the latch proud. Bellini lifts his hand. Music rises. Helena steps left. The watcher moves right. She glances at the table. She smooths the glove. Poirot turns a page. He makes a small tear. He reaches for the empty case. He covers the decoy with a folio. He waits. The wrong man arrives first. Hat low, case high. He hesitates. He tests the latch. Poirot ignores him. I step away. He drifts back. Helena closes the distance. 3 steps. No hurry. She lowers her bag. She places it edge to edge. Her left hand covers the folio corner. Casual. Her eyes do not drop. Her pulse shows at the neck. Bellini drops the first wrong note. Cover builds. Helena lifts the folio. She finds the decoy case. She weighs it once. Light, but close. She decides fast. She takes it. Poirot signs a line. He does not look up. I move my foot. I block her pivot. She tilts the case. She tests the balance. Bellini lands the second error. The watcher flinches. Helena turns her shoulder. The latch points out. She presses with the thumb. The click comes bright. Her left glove shows a pale dust. Chalk rub. She does not notice. She moves for the stairs. Poirot shifts a chair an inch. A soft scrape. She turns around him. He checks her bag seam. No swell, no cylinder. Claire speaks low. Booth 2 wakes. Trace? Poirot asks. West corridor, she says, toward Nash. Bellini lands the third wrong note. The cue ends. I set my hand on the real case. Ready. Helena clears the aisle. The watcher covers. The hat man follows at distance. Poor disguise. Poirot taps twice with the pencil. I take the side route. Claire redirects an usher. Bellini lifts the pedal plate. The hair stays fixed. Delarose remains seated. The watcher signals with a cuff touch. Go. Helena accelerates. I match. She reaches the annex corner. She looks back once. I give a harmless smile. She looks ahead. The gap opens. Now the director steps in next. A chirp on the line, a plot in the room. Claire at the switchboard, hands steady, eyes sharp. She plugs. She listens. She maps the path. A soft chirp repeats. Short, short, long. Then a gap. She marks the ticks. Tick, tick, ta, gap. Report, Poirot says on house phone. Voice low. She holds him. She traces the cable tree. Booth 2 feeds a junction. The junction splits. One line to lobby, one to annex, one to west corridor. She tests side tone. Faint hiss. Then clicks again. She counts. 4, 3, 11. She writes N-A-S-H. She circles the letters. Same cue. Warm wire smell rises. Insulation rubs skin. Fingertips tingle. Not pain, warning. She flips a tag. Out of service. Booth 2 looks dead. Patch stays alive. The watcher will test it. She arms a ringback trap. One short pulse. Then silence. She times the lift. Not Helena. Not the hat. The cufflink man. She logs the minute. 11:46, hold 5 seconds. She draws a star. She reroutes a test call. Lobby to annex, annex to Nash, Nash to washroom hall. She marks each hop. Clicks change shape. Longer group now. 14, 3, 11. Pause. Then new digits. 0, 0, 1, 0. She writes 0010. Boxed. Second meet. She dials Poirot. He answers on first buzz. Confirm, he says. She reads the path. Proceed, he says. She checks the lamp grid. One lamp glows dull. West corridor jack. She touches the cap. Warm. She hides the live line under a dead tag. She breathes once. She watches the door. Delarose calls. All calm, he says. She says, stay put. She park holds his line. The porter asks for plan. She hands him the guest book. Same ink, same grip stain. Sign all who pass, she says. She primes a spare pen. Barrel holds a trace. She sets it by the log. She wipes her fingers clean. Bellini cues the bar. Music rises. Her lamp spikes. West corridor again. She taps a pencil. 1, 2, 3. She lifts the cord. She hears breath. Male. Thin. She asks for a name. Silence. A fake cough. Then a click. She notes the style. Archivist habit. Narrow voice. She writes, likely Leopold? She does not assume. Helena requests a call. Claire delays her. Line busy, she says. Try later. Helena waits. The hat man hovers. He eyes the book. He refuses the pen. Claire smiles. She calls the porter. Policy, she says. He signs fast. The stain will fix under bright light. She notes the time. 11:53. Her lamp dips, then brightens. New patch opens. Service stair jack. Same digits. Same pauses. She routes it to a dead end. She lifts a fresh handset. She sends one chirp. The reply matches. N-A-S-H again. She files the slip. She pockets a spare tag. She looks once at the hall. No drama, only moves. She flags the washroom, bright bulbs. Good fixing. Porter routes signers there. Names first, hands next, then checks. She dials Poirot. Second time set, she says. 0010. Second hand, second pocket. Flower scent. A man's mistake. We split at the stair. Claire covers the board. Bellini holds the bar count. Poirot points me right. The doorknob shows dust. Pale. Fine. Even. I angle the lamp. The powder glows faint. Orchid mix. Lavender trace. I tape a strip. The grains stick well. Poirot marks the bag. Pollen and oil, he says, handled together. Recent footsteps approach fast. I step to shadow. Blue cufflinks flash past. The watcher checks the handle. He leaves a shallow smear. Poirot lifts my wrist. Count touches, he says. 1, 2, 3. He notes each mark. He notes the order. A thin man appears, narrow shoulders, quiet shoes, left pocket bulges, cuff brushed with gray. Scent rides the air, lavender, not fresh, resin, damp cloth. He reaches the knob. He tests the turn. He withdraws at once. He looks at his cuff. He sees a stain. He pulls on gloves. Late, too late. The mark already set. Poirot steps forward. Slow. "Good evening," he says. The man nods once. He tries to pass. Poirot blocks a half step. Bellini triggers bar 17. 3 wrong notes land. The corridor hum rises. Claire calls on the line. "Patch wakes," she says. "Westjack, same digits." Trace stable to Nash. Poirot asks a question. "Depot," I answer. 14, 3, 11. The man shifts left. He tests a detour. I fill the gap. He reads my badge. "Maintenance," I say. His voice stays thin. "Problem?" "Routine," I say. "Door sticks." Light fixes it. He glances at the lamp. He cannot risk it. He turns the other way. He heads for the stair. We move with him. 3 meters back. Quiet. He rubs his cuff. Darkens by seconds. He meets the watcher. Cufflinks catch the glow. A whisper passes fast. No names. 10 past midnight. Poirot records the phrase. He speaks to Claire. "Log 0010. We return to the knob. The glow holds steady. I lift a second tape. More grains print clear. Same mix. Same hand. Poirot checks the hinge. Thin oil shines dual. He sniffs once. Winces. "Carrier present," he says. "Batch smell. Familiar." He points at the stain. "Left sleeve. Inside seam." I write it down. I tag the sample. I bag the strip. Bellini keeps the pulse. He resets the bench. He hides the hair catch. The cue will serve. Delaros remains seated, hands clenched on program. He will not move. Poirot nods to him. "Wait for my sign." We hear a soft cough. The thin man returns, gloves now on, gaze forward, fast pace. We match and pivot. He reaches for the rail. Powder prints again. He pulls back. He curses under breath. Poirot hears it. Accent thin, not local. We tag the rail. Clear match. He quickens. Bellini's cue repeats softly. Cover spreads again. Claire marks the path arrow, west to conservatory. I signal ready. Poirot raises one finger. Conservatory side entrance. Now lavender oil. The smell of fire. Nash room annex. Door half latched. Poirot signals once. I hold the knob. Claire watches the hall. Bellini times the bar. 17 near. Leopold steps in. Thin. Quick. Gloves on, eyes flat. He locks the door. He opens a case. Burner out. He twists the valve. A flame flicks. He holds paper with tongs. He lights a corner. Oil flashes. Paper curls. Edges brown. Words warp. Poirot points at the alarm rod. "Now!" I strike hard. Metal rings. The valve trips. Pipes clack. Steam bursts. Heat hits face. Hiss fills. Skin stings. Leopold jerks back. He shields the burner. He keeps the flame alive. He moves left. Claire slides a wet cloth. I catch it. I slap the paper down. Sizzle. Smoke thins. Leopold swears, accent thin, not local. He grabs a second sheet. He tries again. Poirot advances one step. "Enough," he says. Leopold ignores him. He angles the flame. Bellini hits the first wrong note. Cover rises. Footsteps blur outside. Watcher stalls. I pull the cylinder pouch from the case. It is warm, too warm, wax soft at the rim. I wrap it in the wet cloth. I rotate. Grooves look clean. Weight feels right. Leopold reaches for my wrist. I parry. Poirot taps the rod again. More hiss. Steam fogs. Gloves slick. Grip weak. Leopold slips. He bumps the table. Burner skids. Claire kicks the gas knob. Flame dies. She yanks the cord. Door holds. She blocks the hinge. Leopold lunges for the pouch. I feint. He grabs the empty sleeve instead. Poirot stands center, feet planted, arms loose. Leave it, he says. Calm. Level. Leopold scans our hands. He sees stains. His own fingers darken at the tips. Silver nitrate blooms. Mark clear. Mark sure. He hides his hands. Too late. Bellini lands the second error. The hum swells. Delaros stays seated outside. Porter routes passers to the washroom. Light fixes the marks. Names go in the book. Claire notes each one. Leopold reaches for a pocket. A small vial shows. He thinks of fire again. Claire shakes her head. She holds the red card. Out of service. He hesitates. He pivots. Poirot nods once. "Courier?" he asks. Leopold says nothing. He steps right. Blue cufflinks flash at the threshold. Watcher ready. Leopold avoids him. He cuts left. Fast. I secure the pouch. I test the whisper cue. A faint rasp lives inside. The forgery would not speak. Poirot hears it. He tilts his head. "Real," he says. "Protect." Leopold sees the choice. Run or fight. He chooses space. He shoves the table. The burner rolls. The tongs clatter. Claire kicks the rod again. Steam surges. Bellini hits the third wrong note. The cue ends. Leopold darts for the side door. I block. Poirot points to the washroom. "Hands," he says. Leopold stops. He stares at his fingers. Dark tips. Clear proof. He knows. He looks at the empty sleeve. He swallows. The cylinder survived. But who paid? The price isn't always cash. Helena sits. Fingers shake. Left glove off. Right glove on. Stains darken. Silver nitrate holds. Poirot stands close. Calm voice. "Payment?" he asks. She looks down. She stalls. Claire records time. Bellini watches the door. Porter guards the hall. The pouch stays sealed. "Who bought it?" I ask. She exhales. "A circle," she says. "Monarchists. Names," Poirot says. She shakes her head. "Cells," she says. "Never lists." Countess Adele enters. She keeps distance. Eyes steady. Jaw tight. "You used my name," Adele says. "Why?" Helena clears her throat. "Leverage," she says. "You open doors." Delaros stands back. He avoids her eyes. He whispers once, "My fault." Poirot notes that line. One stroke. No comment. He pivots back. "Price?" he asks again. "Not money," she says. "Papers. Safe travel. A passport that lasts." "Who issued it?" "A friend of the circle. Initials only. H.C. Claire writes H.C. She underlines twice. "What else?" Poirot asks. "Sanctuary," she says. "A house outside Milan. Orchids in the yard." Bellini glances at the pin. The hair still holds. "Handler?" Poirot asks. "Leopold," she says. "Archivist before. Talks soft. Never signs." Poirot steps aside. Leopold stands guarded. Hands dark. He says nothing. He does not sit. Claire watches him. "Why the cylinder?" I ask. "Proof," she says. "A phrase." A laugh. "A liver." "Against whom?" "Against many," she says. "Not just Delaros. Others named." Quietly. Delaros swallows. "Which others?" She stays silent. Poirot waits. He lets time work. "How did you learn the depot code?" he asks. "From the board," she says. "Booth 2. Copied timings." Music hit it. Claire notes her words. She logs the method. Process known. "Buyer contact?" "A card," she says. "Nash. Blue ink. No names. Only an hour." Poirot opens his hand. The card. She hesitates. She yields it. Edges rough. Ink dry. He checks the back. A fingerprint blooms. Dark tips confirm. She sees it. Her shoulders drop. "Fine," she says. Funding line? He asks. Donations, she says. Old houses. Abroad. Cash couriers. Adele's voice hardens. Which houses? Helena looks away. One in Graz. One in Bern. One on the coast. Who paid for you? Poirot asks. She answers slow. A widow, she says. She hates elections. She funds romance. Delarose closes his eyes. Enough, he says. Poirot lifts a finger. Not yet. And the watcher? I ask. A scout, she says. Finds exits. Marks doors. Dresses better than the rest. Next step? Poirot asks. Midnight, she says. 010. Second pass. Switch hands. Poirot writes 0010. He circles it. He reads her face. He sees fear. Why crack now? Adele asks. Helena stares at the stain. Because the price changed, she says. They want a name. Mine, Delarose whispers. Again, my fault. Poirot answers at last. Yours, he says, and theirs. Not hers alone. Helena nods once. Will you trade? She asks. Truth for safety. We will weigh it, Poirot says. All of it. More cards stay face down. Even silence has a sound. Cylinder returned. Treaty intact. Chain of custody signed. Pouch opened. Groove checked. Whisper Q present. Weight confirmed. Stock correct. No warp at rim. Poirot logs time. Claire logs witnesses. Porter logs routes. Adele steps forward. Thanks held back. Breath steady. She offers her hand. Cold skin. Firm grip. Poirot nods once. Letter stayed safe. She nods back. And shame stayed smaller. Delarose stands aside. Shoulders set. Eyes down. He unfolds a page, resignation prepared. He signs in black ink, slow strokes, no pause, ink sharp, paper soft. He hands it to Poirot. My fault, he says. Poirot files it flat. Your duty next, he says. Bellini returns to the piano. Clean bars only. No wrong notes now, bench fixed, pin locked. He wipes the plate. The hair stays trapped. He places the chart away. Seat map cleared. Claire closes the patch. Booth too dark. She pulls the tags. She files slips neat. Hands numb, smile small. Work not done. She calls the depot. Hold request lifted. Locker flagged for audit. Times matched to camera. Leopold sits guarded. Fingers dark. Stains set. He asks for water. Porter gives a cup. He stares at his hands. He says nothing. Helena watches the pen prints fix. She signs again. Same drag, same tilt. She returns the card. You have enough, she says. Poirot answers. Enough to move. Adele faces Helena. Stop using my name. Helena nods once. Then buy me time. Adele's jaw tightens. Earn it. Delarose breathes out. Who else is named? Poirot lifts a palm. Later. Contain first. Protect the treaty. Then speak. Claire brings a ledger. Tickets reconciled. Trace confirmed to Nash, she adds. Second meet logged at 010. Empty corridor on check. No handover. Poirot writes a summary. Steps numbered. Errors marked. He circles 3 items. Buyer unseen. Funding line open. Courier network alive. He taps the page. Loose ends. Bellini closes the lid. Felt soft. Click quiet. He looks to Poirot. Do we play again? Later, Poirot says. Different stage. Adele asks for the cylinder's path. Claire outlines it clean. Depot to annex. Annex to Nash. Nash to annex. Annex to us. No gap left. Delarose folds his copy. He pockets the seal. He waits for the call. He does not ask when. Poirot stands by the window, not for view, for angles, for approach lines, for exits. He speaks low. Order first, mercy later. He writes 2 lists, one for police, one for names. He hands Adele a card. You will be called. He hands Delarose another. You will. Answer. He keeps the last card. I will watch. Claire checks the book. Stains fixed. 2 match the latch. 1 matches the rail. Numbers align. Times align. Roots align. Bellini lowers the lights a step. Porter locks the annex door. Leopold looks small now, still marked. Poirot closes his notebook. He breathes once. No speeches, no victory pose. Work ahead. Truth won. Mercy cost.